Guess we're gonna find out if this whole new replacement for the shark attack is easier or if it's harder. What's up, my friends? Welcome to an all-new video. U.S. Army veteran ThatChrisChaos. Today, we're reacting to a video that the Sergeant Major of the Army had put out on his Twitter account that kind of shows a little bit of this replacement for the shark attack. If you are not familiar, the Army has gotten rid of the shark attack. Now, whether that means that they're going softer on them or whatever the case might be, maybe we're gonna find out here in a little bit, but they have replaced it with something else. So they no longer have the whole thing of drill sergeants rushing the soldiers when they come off the cattle trucks to the buses and yelling at them and telling them to do stuff. They've replaced it with something else. I believe they call it the 100 yards or the first 100 yards. It has faced a lot of crap of people saying that, oh, we're going too soft on these soldiers now. Now we don't even have the shark attack anymore. And then also we have this whole ACFT thing that I'll link, probably a pop-up card or something like that for that video that talks about how now the ACFT isn't even required to pass basic training or OSIT. So the Army is under a lot of flack right now for being too soft on soldiers. But Sergeant Major of the Army has put out a little Twitter video kind of showing his experience with this replacement thing. And we're gonna check that out and we're gonna react to it. So let's get into it. Let's go check this out. Let's go watch this new 100-yard thing that they're doing and see what it's all about. All right, so I have the video all queued up over here. It's coming off of Twitter from the Sergeant Major of the Army's Twitter account. The video is 9 minutes and 22 seconds, so we're not going to go through the whole entire video, but I will be jumping around. I will link down in the description a link to it if you would like to watch it in its entirety. But let's just kind of skip through it and kind of check out some of the stuff and react to it a little bit.
We're out here at Fort Benning. We're doing the first 100 yards. There's been a lot of questions on this is you know, we're getting kinder and gentler. Well, it doesn't feel like it. They've already gotten their first task. They've probably run already a mile, and then they're on their second task over here. So we're out here with the drill sergeant here, and he's going to explain this to us. So here we go.
So the drill sergeant is going on and kind of explains what's going on. Sounds interesting, right? I mean, with the old way, the shark attack, you're just simply getting off the bus and they're screaming at you, yelling at you, grabbing your bags, maybe dumping them out, doing inventory on them sometimes, whatever, and they're yelling at you, and it was just very chaos, right? You're kind of just confused, and the point of it was to put you under stress and to see how you kind of handle that stress, see if you break and crack under the pressure, or if you can handle it and kind of, you know, try your best to kind of keep up to what's going on. This one, it does seem like there's a lot more going on, and we're going to kind of dive into it a little bit. So first impression, like, I'm not going to go through the part where he kind of explains what's going on. He's basically just explaining they're doing some tasks and they're going to go on to do some ACFT events and some other things. But when you did the shark attack, right, that was a 30-minute, hour-long thing. This seems much longer, and seems like, you know, a lot of big complaints where the people were saying that, you know, that they're going softer on them. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they are, really. It just seems like it's a little bit more work now compared to what the shark attack was. So I don't feel like they're being softer on them. So let's dive into it a little bit more, though.
Their first mission is to build teamwork and trust. So they carried their MREs, their water cans, Skedco, and now they're coming down here. They had 30 seconds to memorize it, and they were supposed to put it back in that exact same configuration. As you can see, they have failed to do that. Corrective training is going on. They get 3 attempts at that. Now they're about to move into the phase 3 portion where they're going to start conducting the ACFT events.
What do you think? Do you think this is easier or harder than what we used to do?
I think it's a lot harder, actually, Sergeant Major. Just because, I mean, I know when I came through, we got off the bus, held our bags for a little bit, ran up a hill. These guys, they're running up a hill, then they're moving a mile under load, and now as you can see, they're still getting that corrective training and going through. But they are working as a team, which is something I don't feel like we did when I first came in. We were just kind of worried about ourselves, Sergeant Major. So as you can see, they're building that trust, they're building that teamwork, and they're starting to work together. Sergeant Major.
So that part seems pretty cool, right? They're having to work together. Where, yeah, I remember when I did the shark attack, you're just worried about yourself, right? I remember one example of that was that, you know, we had to get the locks off of our duffel bags, right? We had these combination locks, and it sucked. And you're being yelled at, and you're trying to remember that damn combination to get the thing open and everything like that. And there was a guy next to me who was struggling to get his open. I was struggling a little bit to get mine open, but because he was in line before me, right, he ended up getting, you know, the bad end of everything, where the drill sergeant got to him and he's yelling at him, hey, hurry up, unlock your lock, get it open, let's go. And when he finally did get it open, that drill sergeant started like throwing his shit everywhere and everything was going everywhere. By that time, I had already got my lock open, so that guy kind of bought me time. That's definitely kind of what he was saying, is that you were worried about yourself. I was worried about myself. I was worried about trying to get that damn lock off, so I didn't end up like this guy, where, the same with that guy. He was trying to hurry up and get his lock off. It wasn't a team kind of a thing. And the Army really is all about team, right? It's all about, trying to work together and trying to accomplish the mission. So I can see that point of view where this could be good, where it's, focuses more on teamwork rather than, an individual.
What are we going to see in the PT event, like right here?
So the PT event, Sergeant Major, they're going to work together as a squad. For each event, there's a certain number for a reason. Some of them are, with this battalion, is 354, so there will be 354 push-ups for one of the events. They have to complete that as a squad. If they do not, the losers, they will have to do corrective training. The winners will not. So it pays to win. Winning matters in the Army. So that's what we want to do here. So
yeah, I definitely like the whole winning matters. And once they get finished with the ACFT, so they already ran under load. They got the task. They're going to do these PT events.
Yes,
and then where do they go from there?
So from there, they will then move into phase 4. Which will be on the backside, close to their CTA, where they'll do the demonstration portion. This is kind of like the motivational portion of it, Sergeant Major. They'll get a demo of what they will look like after these 22 weeks, Sergeant Major. So that's the phase 4. And then the phase 5 is where they'll move into the first 72 hours, where they'll start their in-processing and everything up in the base. Sorry.
So definitely a lot more going on, right? Like I said, it was a quick get yelled at, and then, move your duffel bags or whatever. Now it's like full on multiple events kind of a thing, and kind of starting you off with trying to get the hang of like teamwork, right? And kind of getting used to that. So that way you understand that, hey, teamwork is key. And that's kind of cool. So let's see what else we got.
About how long does all this last? Like the whole...
This is about 2.5 hours, Sergeant Major. So it's pretty long and strenuous on these guys.
Okay, so right off the bus, out of the cattle car, 2.5 hours. Or I think before it might have lasted maybe 30 minutes before they were up in their base. So.
Yeah, I remember it was pretty quick. I think 30 minutes an hour, something like that. So definitely so far from what I've seen, it doesn't seem necessarily easier, right? Maybe a little bit less stressful. I don't know, but maybe with that time, it may be more stressful or equally the same. So definitely the argument of it saying that things have lightened up on the soldiers or become easier may not be really the case thus far from seeing it. You got 30 minutes, of the old way, 2.5 hours, probably more exhausted this new way than you were with the old shark attack. So so far it doesn't seem like it's any easier. A key thing with this too is that these drill sergeants know that the Sergeant Major of the Army is here. So there is a possibility on some things, like as far as the intensity might be dialed down a little bit to appear to be more professional, right? I have seen that many times where that some, higher ranking individual is going to be there, someone really important or whatever. And so you have to be, very professional, so you don't look bad in front of them. There is a chance, maybe, that when the Sergeant Major of the Army is not here, there's a lot more F-bombs, there's a lot more cussing going on, there's a lot more, calling soldiers names and all that kind of stuff like that. So we may even still be seeing a little bit of a lighter version of what the actual one is, because the Sergeant Major of the Army is there and they're trying to remain professional, and they don't want to, have the Sergeant Major of the Army seeing them calling them names like they might normally do to kind of add the extra stress. So there may still be a little bit of that factor in there.
Hurry up, Private. Let's go. Follow it. Let's take it. Let's go.
I get it.
Let's go, Private. We've done this once or twice before in the Army, right? Let's go. Get those knees up, get those knees up, get those knees up.
Private, at this time, you have failed the mission again, yes?
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
Failure is not an option, yes?
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
The mission was, Echo Company is relying on you to get it right. The action's scared of heavy casualties and desperately need these supplies, yes?
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
And you have failed them. Because you have failed them, I'm going to correct you, yes?
Yes, Drill Sergeant.
Friendly arrest decision, move!
Don't worry, Third. Take your time. This is nice and painful.
We'll wait on you.
Get that fuck off.
Get your back straight.
Get your back straight.
MKS!
MKS!
Exercise! 1, 2, 3.
1,
1, 2, 3.
2,
1, 2, 3.
3.
So it looks like they're still getting smoked, right? So they're still having to do, corrective training. They're still having to do push-ups. They're still having to do all that stuff. Still getting yelled at. Like I said, I feel like the intensity of being yelled at is probably dialed down a little bit because they have to try to look professional in front of the Sergeant Major of the Army. But they're apparently still getting smoked because they failed to, do the things right and do it, the way they were supposed to do it. It looks like they had to reset up the MREs and everything else in the same way that it was originally set up or something. And if they don't, then they have to do a bunch of push-ups. So still getting yelled at, still getting smoked. It's not like they're just like letting them go chill out and go take a break, and it's a lot easier. It seems like maybe it is harder. I mean, it's longer, definitely longer.
Third battalion, only third battalion. Go.
Looks like someone's getting yelled at right there. Still getting yelled at. Going on a little bit of a run around the track. It's a lot more running than I did during the shark attack. Okay. That's where the video is pretty much going to end right here, is them running around the track, looks like. So that was only a few minutes of this 2.5 hour long 100 yards, as they call it now, instead of the shark attack. Now it's the 100 yards or the first 100 yards, something like that. I mean, thus far, it probably does seem like it's probably harder than the shark attack. It doesn't seem like it's in much of a shock kind of to you, right? You come off the bus, drill sergeant's in your face, yelling at you, you're panicking, you're, in a rush, doing this, doing that, and everything like that. So that's probably more stressful. This one probably has some moments where it's stressful because, like I said, we're only seeing a few minutes of this 2.5 hour long thing. So I got to feel like this 100-yard thing is probably harder than the shark attack. I don't know. So what are your thoughts on this? After we watch this a little bit, you got to see a small portion of that 2.5 hour long 100-yard thing, right? And what do you feel? Do you feel like that seems like maybe it's a lot harder than actually the shark attack, and maybe we're being a little bit too rough on the Army and saying that, we're being soft on them when maybe we're not. Maybe they're not being soft on them. Maybe it is actually harder. In my opinion, from what I see, it does seem like it's harder, right? I've not seen the full-on thing of what the 2.5 hours consist of, but that little bit that I did see, it looks like it's harder than what I had to go through with the shark attack. Mine might have been a little bit more stressful and a little bit scarier. This one, like I said, doesn't seem as scary, but it seems harder. Again, also, you might have that factor in there of the Sergeant Major of the Army was there being present, so they were kind of trying to remain professional because they don't want to get in trouble for cursing at soldiers or, getting too crazy with it, and then the Sergeant Major of the Army thinking that they're very unprofessional. So it might have still even been a dialed down version of what it normally is, but I don't know. Task and Purpose also put out a couple other little video clips. Also leave a link down below to the Task and Purpose. Actually, that's what's down in the description box down below, is the Task and Purpose article that actually has all the videos in there. So definitely just check that out. To continue your entertainment, check out these videos over here. Links down in the description for social media. Follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching. ChristopherChaos. See you next time. See ya.